So there's a coup that succeeded in North Carolina. Republicans have stripped a significant amount of power away from the incoming Democratic governor. Ryan Cooper has a write-up of this in the Week. I'm just going to read from it briefly. Democrat Roy Cooper won the governorship, but before he was sworn in, Republicans are using their control of the state legislature to strip away huge swaths of authority from the governor's office. As Paul Bless explains, Republicans are making one legislative push to give themselves an iron grip over state and county election boards and curtail the power of the state Supreme Court, which just gained a Democratic majority, and another to sharply restrict the governor's ability to appoint bureaucrats, influence the public education system. In its attempt to overturn the election via chicanery, the Republican Party has, quote, used the power of the state to protect itself from the voters of the state, as Jamal Bowie writes. And that's correct. And, of course, when you place it in the context of ongoing efforts in North Carolina that have been so established and brazen by that state's Republican Party to suppress African American and Hispanic voters, a strategy to sustain power there through blocking access to a ballot. And now, of course, they've just escalated it to an entirely different level. And I want to play this clip now of Reverend Barber on Joy Reid's MSNBC show on Saturday. Now, he is one of the most important activists in America. He has been for years. The incubator of this extremism of one-party Republican rule on behalf of a small amount of corporate donors is always, it starts in the states and it spreads. So what's happening in North Carolina has horrifying historical implications because of Jim Crow and American apartheid. But it also, again, is the incubator of the power reaches that we may well see nationally in the future. This is Reverend Barber explaining what's going on, what they're doing about it.
All their tricks and all their suppression, they lost. And they see the handwriting on the wall. They know that next year, when these lines are redrawn, many of them will not get reelected. They can only get elected through trickery and through racist gerrymandering. And so we have to fight it in the civil rights community. I'm sure the parties will fight, but we have to wage this fight on behalf of the people, because what they have literally done is they have attempted to, they're scared of the policies. This is the same group, Joy, that would not allow living wages to be voted on, even though 79.6% of North Carolinians want it to be voted on. This is the same group that kept 500,000 people from having Medicaid expansion, 346,000 white people, 30,000 veterans. This is the same group that has cut $1 billion from public education, and they took 900,000 people's earned income tax credit so they could give 14 families a tax break. This group has no integrity when it comes to caring for the people. This was a secret coup. It's unconstitutional. It's immoral. And we plan to fight it with everything we have. We cannot let it stand.
Reverend Barber is exactly right. And what you see is the economic warfare has been happening for decades. And, of course, all too often Democrats have gone along with it. But now, as those demographic trends, which all too many liberals thought would just sort of lead everything to be taken care of, are materializing in places like North Carolina. Well, what's the response? We will subvert democracy functionally and brutally and in breathtakingly brazen ways on behalf of our donor base. It's the next phase of economic warfare. And as we all know, economic warfare, there is class warfare in this country, and the wealthy have been waging it. Nothing new there.
Hey, it's Sam Seder. Why don't you subscribe to this channel? You can do so right over here. Subscribe.